Rules Committee come to order, and thank you very much for joining us today. We have two very exciting witnesses and excitement today about a conference report, the H.R. 22 Service Transportation Reauthorization Reform Act of 2015. So we're not only going to consider this conference report today, but we're going to acknowledge the hard work that's been done by Chairman Schuster and the ranking member from Oregon, Mr. DeFazio. They are delivering a 5-year plan to improve our nation's infrastructure, streamline project approval processes, and provide certainty and flexibility for state and local governments. It's a work that's been in progress. Mr. Chairman, you spent a lot of time before this committee bringing what I consider to be realistic expectations about your desire for a long-term as opposed to a short-term plan. We spoke to you a year ago about extending this with the expectation that you could be here, and you made it, and we're delighted. Gentlemen, you should each be committed for your hard work in successfully completing not only this difficult task, but one which I'm sure you received feedback from all 435 members about their desires also. Congress has been, I think, criticized about the work it's done in the past. I think if people will take a look at the hard work that's gone on all year, lots of times on a bipartisan basis, but working with each other, working with the United States Senate, finally the United States Senate that will work with us instead of blocking us, and instead of not hearing our calls for making this country address tough issues and resolving them, then we would have been in the past where we were. A new day has dawned now that we have a Senate that will work with us, and hopefully a White House that's going to sign off on this also. I'm delighted that you're here. Before we defer to each of you, however, I'm going to defer to our judge, our ranking member of this committee. The gentleman is recognized.
Thank you very much,
yes,
Mr.
sir.
Chairman. I echo all of your sentiments with the exception of a few words, and I won't bother to elaborate upon them. But I do appreciate very much and know the work of both the gentlemen that are here today, and deeply appreciate they and their staffs and the extraordinary work that they've done to bring this measure that's much needed legislation, as all of us know. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much. And the gentleman is correct. The staffs have put in not only great work on this, but the time and interest to listen to every one of the members about their thoughts and ideas also, and Judge Hastings is exactly correct. Mr. DeFazio, you're up here on a regular basis. Chairman Schuster, you know that our awesome stenographer would appreciate anything you leave in writing, and we are delighted that you're here. The gentleman, the young chairman of the committee, is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and Ranking Member Hastings, and having us here, giving us this opportunity before you to consider the conference report, H.R. 22, Fixing America's Surface Transportation, the FAST Act. I think it's an appropriate name for two reasons. One, it says it quite clearly, Fixing America's Surface Transportation, and we did this in great speed, so it was fast. I want to thank Ranking Member DeFazio, who if it wasn't modern times, he would have been taken off the playing field for 2 weeks during conference, but because of modern technology, he could check in and participate and be extremely helpful getting this through the conference. So I was glad to see him back in action. And again, thanks for all your help putting this conference report together for getting it to the floor tomorrow. Before I describe the transportation provisions of the conference, I do want to note the conference report includes numerous provisions contained in the House and the Senate passed versions. These provisions are in jurisdictions of the Ways and Means Committee, Financial Services, Energy and Commerce, Natural Resources, and Judiciary Committee. Since I became chairman, one of my top priorities has been to pass a long-term highway bill. For the last year or more, I've traveled across the country to talk to transportation and business leaders about the need for a reauthorization bill. We've heard that all the states and the communities have significant infrastructure needs, and they need long-term certainty to address them. The FAST Act represents a bipartisan and bicameral agreement. It's the first time in 10 years that we've had a long-term bill. It is fully paid for and reauthorizes federal surface transportation programs for 5 years. It provides that much-needed certainty for our states and local governments to plan improvements. The key provisions in the FAST Act are they improve our nation's infrastructure, including our roads, public transportation, and rail systems, reform our federal transportation programs. It refocuses those programs on national priorities, including the flow of freight and commerce, provides greater flexibility for states and local governments to address their needs, streamlines the federal bureaucracy, and accelerates project delivery. Promotes innovation to make our surface transportation system and programs work better, and it maintains a strong commitment to highway, rail, and hazmat safety. This bill also includes robust reforms of Amtrak, which the House passed overwhelmingly earlier this year. It cuts waste, holds Amtrak accountable, increases transparency. It enhances opportunities for competition on routes and increases private sector participation in station development and right-of-way leveraging. It gives states more power and control over their Amtrak routes. The FAST Act invests in America and continues the essential federal role in transportation. It helps keep our country economically competitive and ensures our quality of life. So I thank you for considering this conference report, H.R. 22, and I also want to recognize that the staff of the Rules Committee was particularly helpful in putting together this very complex bill, and I'm not surprised that the leadership of the staff by Altoona's finest, Hugh Halpern, he was great to work with. But can't thank them enough for the help, the hard work that your staff lent to this effort. So thank you, and I yield back.
You know, I've gotten a little bit tired of hearing about your spy on my staff as my staff director. But you know, deserved remarks were made by you on behalf of not only you as chairman, but overseeing a product that included lots of people, Bill, and lots of time, and strung itself out. And congratulations, job well done. Mr. DeFazio, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm not going to go on at any length. I think the chairman said it quite well. This is a major effort that has yielded a good product. And the policy is good. The spending levels are, you know, they're better than we're doing today, but they're not what we need to do. But the bill, should we stumble across future revenue in some way, tax reform or any other way, and it's allocated to transportation, it'll flow through the formulas in the bill, no further action necessary by Congress. So, and we could productively put that money to work and put more Americans to work. First time for a major investment in national freight program, critical to our economy. You know, it's good for transit in terms of we substantially restore the bus program, and we are going to create American jobs with stronger Buy America provisions, many other things in this bill to recommend it. And with that, I will just yield back the balance of my time.
Thank you very much. Mr. Chairman, on page 35 of the joint explanatory statement of the Committee of the Conference, do you have a copy of this? I bet you do. I just, without trying to go through too much, I picked what I think is an easy question. I didn't get everything in the conference report. It refers to the highway motor fuels taxes. The Highway Trust Fund motor fuels tax rates are as follows. Page 35, Mr. Chairman. I know you're 47 years old and there's no way to get around it.
Yes,
the Highway Trust Fund, highway motor fuels taxes, are those the same as today or have those changed?
They've been that way since 1993.
So we kept the same tax rate for motor fuels?
Yep, and that's one of the reasons we're looking for money under every cushion in Washington and around the country, so.
It does have a lot to do with that, but this is not a tax increase.
No, it's not.
That's the point I was trying to make.
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much.
You're correct.
I knew the answer. I just wanted to have you say it. Mrs. Fox?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I appreciate our colleagues being here today and the hard work that they have put into this conference report and the bill that passed the House earlier. I appreciate all their efforts. I realize that there are many things we need to do with our infrastructure throughout the states, and I yield back.
Thank you very much. Mrs. Slaughter?
Thank you. Listen, you guys, I knew you were going to do a good job. I've been rooting for you. You come through with a good bill. Particularly happy that Congressman Richard Hanna and I were successful in getting transit money back in for the Northeast. Thank you for that. And with that, I have no questions, but thank you very much.
A big thank you on behalf of Transportation Advocate right there. Mr. Stivers?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'd like to thank both the chairman and the ranking member for their hard work and their efforts and the result. And as a congressman from Ohio that has the Brent Spence Bridge, which is almost $1 billion project that links America through I-75 right on the Ohio River, I appreciate the efforts to put a special fund in for big projects like that. Do you want to talk a little bit about that, Mr. Chairman?
Sure. We did that, and one of our inspirations was that bridge. Of course, there's many places around the country that are big transportation projects. But 3 years or so ago, when I started talking about this, and we talked about the Brent Spence Bridge, because I used to live in Cincinnati, Ohio, so I know it well. Depending on economic activity in this country, 3 to 3.5% of the GDP crosses over that bridge yearly. And when you think of, most people don't think in those terms, but that's one single bridge on one single highway that goes from Michigan to Florida. There's a lot of commerce there, and that really typifies a lot of these projects around the country and the movement of freight and these big projects. We've got to tend to them. That bridge, I think, is almost 70 years old. And we don't want another tragedy like we saw up in Minnesota several years ago. So again, that really was one of the inspirations for putting that program into place.
I'd observe both. We have the provision for major projects like that in the bill because we are truly dealing with interstate issues here. But there's also, in the case, every state will see additional funds, and in the case of Ohio, under this bill, it'll be about $631 million over 5 years. So that'll also help on your cost share side.
Thank you both for all your hard work, your bipartisan work, and the great result in this bill, not to mention all the things that are not in the transportation jurisdiction that are included, like reauthorizing the Export-Import Bank that many people on this committee do support. And I want to thank you for all that work. Thank you. I yield back, Mr. Chairman.
The gentleman yields back his time. The gentleman from Massachusetts.
Well, thank you very much. I'm assuming that the awful big trucks amendment that we defeated in the House was not in here, right?
Which one?
There's no change in the national standards for truck size and weight. There are some limited exceptions contained in the bill, a number of which were in the House bill for segments of highway that have particular concerns or needs.
That was an amendment. Did you say that wasn't in the bill? Yeah, that was an amendment. Trying to remember which.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate that, and again, I look forward to voting for the bill. Although that probably will lose you more votes than get you out of this place. But anyway, thank you for your great work. Yield back.
Gentleman yields back his time. The gentleman from Alabama.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just want to add my voice of appreciation. I, too, have a large project in my district. I have the biggest choke point of the Interstate 10 system that goes from Los Angeles to Jacksonville, Florida. And I was reminded of it this past weekend at Thanksgiving, seeing all that traffic that's not from my district trying to get through my district. But it's not just on holiday weekends. We have a lot of commercial traffic that has to move on that, and we've got these projects all over the country, and without this bill, we won't be able to address them. I know it was hard to get here. Mr. Chairman, you and I have talked about this several times. This bill doesn't have every little thing in it I'd like to see, but it's got enough to where I think we all should get behind it and support it, and I thank you both for all you've done.
Gentleman yields back his time. Thank you very much. Judge Hastings.
Mr. Chairman, I ask unanimous consent to include in the record two letters of support coming, one from the Amalgamated Transit Union and the Transportation Labor Division of AFL-CIO.
Without objection, we'll include
Thank you
that
very
first.
much,
Thank
Mr.
you,
Chairman. Mr. Chairman, I would also like to personally thank Chairman Schuster and Ranking Member DeFazio for their continuing help of an effort that I started quite some time ago having to do with pollinators. And the fact that Mr. Denham was able to get this in the manager's amendment, I've argued repeatedly for a number of years, and Chairman Schuster has heard me all the way through, as did Mr. DeFazio, that if we don't have no bees, we ain't gonna have no food. So this highway integration vegetation management practice doesn't cure everything that we need to do in that regard, but it certainly is a good step forward, and I just want to thank them for their efforts. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, sir. Gentleman yields back his time. The gentleman from the state of Washington who counts on good transportation also.
We do, and even though my district doesn't have big mega projects in it that are slated for construction through the bill, I do want to just say this is a great example of what can be accomplished when we work on such a bipartisan manner, and appreciate both of your hard work in getting this to this point, and look forward to seeing it on the floor. I'll yield back.
Any other members seek time for the question? Our panel. Gentlemen, thank you very much. Job well done. Good luck tomorrow defending the product, and we appreciate your help here very much.
And again, I just want to say again, thank you to your staff. It was very helpful, and I saw him come in and go out, but I just want to mention, so it's
Mr.
in the record
Halperin's-
twice that the Altoona's finest was very helpful in this. Hugh Halperin, thanks.
If I see him, I'll tell him, great job then. Thank you very much. This now closes the hearing on H.R. 22, the FAST Act. And there is Mr. Halperin right there to receive the congratulatory hug and kiss from Chairman Schuster and the spy on behalf of the Transportation Committee that works in the Rules Committee. Chairman now be in receipt of a motion from the gentlewoman from North Carolina. Excuse me just a moment, please. Committee will be in order. Committee will be in order. Does gentleman seek time? Thank you very much. The gentlewoman from North Carolina is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I move the committee grant a rule providing for consideration of the conference report to accompany H.R. 22, the Surface Transportation Reauthorization Reform Act of 2015. The rule waives all points of order against the conference report and against its consideration. The rule provides the conference report shall be considered as read. Finally, the rule provides that the previous question shall be considered as ordered without intervention of any motion except 1 hour debate and 1 motion to recommit if applicable.
Now heard the motion from the gentlewoman from Grandfather Community, North Carolina, and I thank her for that. We're now open to discussion.
We have nothing to discuss.
Have nothing to discuss. Those in favor of the
Happy as can be.
those in favor of the conference report will say aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it. The ayes have it. And the gentleman from Georgia, Mr. Woodall, will be handling this for Republicans.
And Mr. Polis, oh, he's here, good. Mr. Polis from Colorado will be pleased to do that for us.
Awesome. I'd like to remind each of us that there are times, here's the gentleman right here. Well, we had a voice vote, Rob. So we took care of you. Your spy was here, Mr. Halperin. I want to really pat us all on the back for a job well done on trusting not only this process to get done, but knowing that it would. And all members of this committee are appreciated and respected for that. And it looks like we've done our work for the week. So we'll see you on the floor. Thank you very much. This concludes our meeting for the day. I have.